Hi, I'm Arjun Rampal. I'm an actor. I live in India, and I would like to share a story with you all, which I hope is going to be helpful for people who, God forbid, have to experience uh, what me and my family had to go through. So this is basically a story about cancer, which is becoming more and more of an epidemic. And me and my family have had an experience of a family member who obviously is extremely close to us, my mother. Um, and she was detected with breast cancer 4 years ago. It was a triple negative breast cancer, a tumor uh, stage 4 found in her right breast, uh, which was diagnosed to be cancerous. We went to Breach Candy Hospital, and there we were told to get the tumor surgically removed. They didn't want to do a mastectomy, so they just did it around where the tumor was and removed it. Post that, she went through the regular treatment of chemotherapy and radiation, because that's what triple negative cancer, the treatment is post surgery. After 10 months of us being told that the operation has gone off really, really well and there's nothing to fear, after 10 months there was little nodules that were seen in her lung, uh, which when tested were metastatic, and the cancer had metastasized into the lung portions. It was breast cancer that had gone into the lung. On consulting the doctor there, he was not very encouraging. He in fact told my mom she should go have some champagne and kind of live out the last few months of her life. Obviously, we were not going to give up there. So we stopped going to the doctor, and I got in touch with Dr. Larry Norton, a wonderful doctor at the Sloan Kettering Institute, also a researcher who researches immunotherapy. He's very, very renowned, one of the best breast cancer oncologists in the world. God willing, we could afford it and we could go there. And he did. He saw her. He said she has to do chemo immediately. We thought about naturopathy because there was a friend of mine, Luke, who was very, very helpful towards the diet and the diet programs and giving us insights into what cancer was. And he was kind of her coach. He also came with us to New York when we went, and they all decided that since the cancer was aggressively growing and the tumors were growing extremely rapidly, that we should do chemotherapy immediately before it gets more complicated, and then try to shrink the tumors and do immunotherapy post that. It sounded like a great plan, so we went with it. It worked. In the first 6 months, there was a shrinkage of about 50% in the tumors. But Dr. Norton felt that he wanted another 25% shrinkage in the tumors in order to go and do immunotherapy. He was not very keen to do it with the tumors still being that large. He put her on an oral chemo, which she was supposed to take for 6 months. She came back to India and she was on this oral chemo medication, which was absolutely devastating and was horrible for her. It almost killed her. Her hands had become black as my hair, and her feet had turned black. Her nerves were all exposed. She'd become half a size. She was something like 40 kilos from 70 kilos. So extremely weak. And but we had to see that process through, and we all had our fingers crossed that the shrinkage would happen by another 25%. By the time we went back to New York and met Dr. Norton, he was quite taken aback to see her condition, and he was also hopeful that the chemo had done its work, but unfortunately it had not, and the tumors had grown back to 50%. Post that, we were advised to do more chemo. Now this was the toughest part and the toughest decision to make, because seeing her condition, I knew that she was not going to make it if she did one more round of chemo. I mean, it was impossible. At that point in time, I called up a dear friend, Lalit Modi, who I don't know where and why he came to my mind, but I remember him talking to me about his wife's cancers, and I called him, and he was extremely upset and angry with me that I had not called him earlier. He said I had to get out of New York immediately and go to Portugal, to Lisbon, to the Champali Mouth Foundation to meet Dr. Carlo Greco. And he said, send me the test. He put me on a WhatsApp group with Dr. Carlo Greco, and he said, if you can work on this, because Arjun's a brother from another mother, you need to get this sorted. I got the reports. I sent it to Carlo. Carlo said, bring her immediately, somehow or the other, with the help of the Indian ambassador in New York, and the Portuguese ambassador, who really went out of their way, because my mom didn't have a Schengen visa. They gave us a Schengen visa for 7 days. We flew out, went to Lisbon, and I met Dr. Carlo Greco for the first time. And an amazing man. He came to the hotel in the middle of the night. He explained to my mother exactly what was going to happen and what SDRT is, single dose radiation therapy, which he explained how there would be a hologram made of her body. It would be a very precise manner in which they would hit and target the tumors. My mother's skin, I remember, had turned grey in color. It was like this ash grey. And after the first treatment of SDRT, I knocked on her door at the hotel room, and she opened the door and she was glowing. And I thought she'd done some wonderful makeup, and I said, what have you done today? And she said, nothing, I just washed my face. I said, Mom, your skin is glowing. And she says, yeah, even I felt so, but I wasn't sure. But because of the boost that the immunity system had gotten in her body, it kind of rejuvenated a lot of her cells. And it meant that, and Dr. Carlo Greco was extremely satisfied with the radiation treatment that he had done and had given to my mother. The reason I took time to even make this video, I should have maybe made it earlier, was because I didn't want to jump the gun. I didn't want to do something where you don't know if this is right. Is this something which I really want to, endorse and take it forward? But after the experience that my mom and I have had, she's been now in this treatment for, the last time she had a radiation treatment was 1 year, 2 months or 3 months ago. Today we did her last PET scan, and there is no growth in the tumors. In fact, there's more shrinkage in them, touch wood, by the grace of God. There is no other activity anywhere else. And this was non-invasive. There was no medication post that. There are no side effects post that, except that she had to cough a lot. And that's a natural thing, because it's the debris being removed from your lungs and expelled out of your body. But I mean, even doctors here are surprised and fascinated as to what this is. And I think I really owe this to my dear friend Lalit Modi for introducing me to the Champali Mouth Foundation. And I'm very glad that he's taking this forward in the form of Eon cancer care, where they're going to bring this treatment, make it more accessible to people all around the world. It is also not a treatment which is very expensive. It is far cheaper than chemotherapy. And of course, to Dr. Carlo Greco and all the team at the Shampali Mouth Foundation, who are just amazing. Dr. Greco, Benedita, who takes care of all the international patients. The people of Lisbon, who are incredible. It's a great place to go and get your treatment done. But I hope that this grows, and whatever support that I can give it, I'm more than willing to. And I hope that this video which I have made today is going to be helpful to all of the people listening out there. Is this a miracle? I don't know. Maybe it is. But I think this is also a science which is really incredibly effective towards patients. I have seen a lot of patients, I've sent a lot of my friends post that with prostate cancer, with other ailments, and they have come out of the Shampali Mouth Foundation feeling absolutely fine, some even cancer-free. So this is my experience. If this experience can help any of you out there, I'll be more than happy. I hope most people who see it don't need a treatment or don't have to go through cancer, but anybody who is going through it, this was my experience. Please, if you have, if you want to, it is something which I think definitely you should try and give it a shot. And I'll end by showing you the person who's been a brave heart and has seen this through really well, and you will see how well she's doing. So that's Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, Shampali Mouth is a beautiful hospital, and Dr. Carl Greco is wonderful. He's so positive and he is fantastic.
So there you go, straight from the horse's mouth. Well, God bless, and I hope this video truly does reach out and help as many people as it can.